Hey there guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, a tour of the Toronto Zoo. Well, I guess this is kind of not really a tour, it's a little bit different. We are all living in some very strange times, and those times happen to include a pandemic at this point in time. So most things are closed. Now, my wife and I have been supporters of the Toronto Zoo. We were for many years, being a member, supporting them financially and that sort of thing. And as well, the benefit of that is our children got to be taken there quite often. And of course, that gave them the love of the zoo as well. But with COVID-19 running rampant, places like the zoo are closed, and they rely heavily on the support of the visitors, whether it be through parking fees or whether it be through admission fees. But with that being eliminated now with COVID for the time being, they had to come up with something to support their efforts. And what they came up with is a drive-through tour. And that's what we're going to look at today. My wife and I and my two kids and their significant others, all in separate vehicles, using two-way radios, a load of fun. We all purchased tickets and went through in a little train of our own with GoPro cameras running and that sort of thing. So enough talking. Let's see what we saw. As you come in through the entrance, it's kind of surprising to see it as desolate as what it is. But I guess if it wasn't this desolate, there's no way we would be able to drive our vehicles through it. Now, we kind of got caught off guard and didn't really expect to see an animal right off the bat. So we didn't have all the cameras running, but we did manage to catch ourselves an Indian rhino right as we came in through the entrance. Hopefully you got a glimpse of them there because they're pretty cool. Part of the adventure in this next area is finding the animal. And in this case, it's the cheetah. So you don't see him? He's right here. Honest, I kid you not. He is there. And if you can't, you know what? Let's zoom in just a little. And okay, you know what? Zooming in isn't going to help. How about a picture? Now, although my wife was taking the photos while the video was going, she was a little disappointed that she couldn't get a picture of this guy, and that's the spotted hyena. It just seemed like he was posing for pictures, but there was so much going on that sometimes we just didn't have the chance to take the photo, and unfortunately that was one of those times. Now, you may not think this is much, but from a city guy that drives through a zoo and all of a sudden you see this little donkey sitting off into the background. He is part of the zoo. There he is, right there. And a cute little guy, but I wonder where all his buddies are. Like, he's just sitting there by himself. I don't know. Maybe he was being an ass. And his friends left. Coming around the corner here, we see the elusive zoo employee. You don't see these guys in their natural habitat too often. But you know what? See this guy here? I want to pause here and talk about this guy for just a second. Now, this is Polly. And Polly is a polar bear that was crafted completely from plastic waste that was gathered from local shoreline cleanups. And honestly, it kind of blows my mind when you think about that, because how much trash are we really throwing into our water and around our waterways? Maybe it's time to rethink the way we do things. Next on our list is Africa's tallest flying bird, and that would be the wattled crane. And honestly, you can't appreciate how large this thing is in the video here. It really doesn't do it justice, nor does its gorgeous gray and white colorings. You know what? A picture might do a little better. I just wish he would have taken his head out of his food dish to say hello, but honestly, what a gorgeous bird he was. Again, we see some of the buildings that are now abandoned because of all of this COVID-19 stuff. And wait a sec, back that up. Back that up. What was that? Right there, right there. That? Really? A trash panda? Oh well. What's he doing out in the day, for starters? And I guess he needed to be part of the action here on the show. Who wouldn't want to be a part of this show? This next animal was difficult to see in the video. You can see it barely here, pointing at it with the arrow. But luckily my wife had a good camera with a good zoom. And these things blow my mind with how powerful they are. And that would be none other than the white rhino. These things are absolutely incredible, and they're always great to see at the zoo. On the safari experience, you have to pay attention or you might miss this guy. And he's a little difficult to see there as he kind of is tucked away in the background. But what that is the marabou stork. And we'll just give you a picture of him here. Check him out. Just gorgeous. Well, the next area is the white lion exhibit. And normally you would walk through this lion cave and there are windows on either side that you could view the white lions in. This time we get to drive through it. But unfortunately for us, it was a little disappointing that the lions were off hiding or taking shelter from the heat. It was 35 degrees Celsius with wicked humidity that day, so I don't blame them. I would have been ducking for cover as well if I was covered in a fur coat. A little disappointing that we didn't get to see the lions, but still pretty cool that we got to drive through the lion cave. I mistakenly thought that these were gazelles, but it turns out that they're greater kudu's, and my wife managed to get a couple good shots of them while we were driving by. We almost missed them. Carrying on with my skill of incorrectly identifying animals, I thought that these were wildebeest, and then I thought they were yaks. It turns out they're Watusis. And they're actually quite large, and their horns are massive. Very impressive animals, to say the least. Well, this is the area where we normally see the monkeys, but we never got to see them this time. What we did get to see was the flamingos. And these things just seem to dance and flap their wings and try to get their attention to everyone that drove by. Turns out that these guys are pink because of the food they eat. So if they ate broccoli, would they be green? Well, this was a bit of a sad sight, and that's the water and splash park. On a hot day like it was today, this place would be bustling with children splashing, laughing, playing, and unfortunately, due to our situation, it's silent. I had to laugh at the podcast that was playing during this safari that said if you're lucky, you might get a glimpse of the Barbary sheep. These things were everywhere in this display, so there was pretty slim chances of not seeing one. The next animals we passed by were the mouflon, and they're really cool, but I have to wonder, honestly, what are these two doing? Why are they sitting in their food troughs? I don't know. I guess some questions are better left unasked.
And the winner of the Hey Where You Going award goes to this guy, which is the lion-tailed macaque, who really didn't seem to have much of an interest in us until we started to drive by, at which case he pokes his head up right there and says, hey, where you going, guys? I'm over here, guys. Where you going? Yeah, I guess he just liked my Jeep. Well, the last animals on the safari tour for the day were just beautiful, and there were plenty of them, and that would be the Przewalski horses. And it was great to see them to finish off the safari. Well, from the spotted hyena to the white rhino to the lion cave to the lion-tailed macaque, it was a great day. And although they say thank you, we thank them even more for taking care of the animals. Now, of course, this was not the way I wanted the day to end. Yes, my Jeep did break down. Don't worry, I got it started and I got home fine.
Now, guys, this experience was a lot of fun. We didn't quite see as many animals as we would have liked to, but what do you expect with 35 degrees Celsius heat and then humidity factors through the roof on top of that? I would hide for shelter too. It would have been nice to see the lions, but that didn't happen. And of course, it's not the full zoo experience, but it provides a few things for us on that day. It provided an opportunity for my family and I to see each other, even if it was through car windows and talking on two-way radios. It also provided us a chance to have an experience that we normally wouldn't be able to have, which was driving our vehicles through the zoo in areas that are normally footpaths and where people walk, seeing the zoo from a different perspective in your vehicle. And thirdly, what it provided was a way for us to support the zoo so that they could continue to have the zoo run for many years to come. Having a zoo is an expensive thing, and whether you agree with it or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is that the animals are properly taken care of, and in order to do that, they need financial support. That pays for the veterinarians, that pays for the food, the shelter, the employees to take care of them, etc., etc. It's a process and it's an expensive one. So more importantly, this provided an opportunity so that they can continue to take care of the animals in the way that they should be taken care of. Guys, I hope that you are going to, if you live in the Toronto area, I hope that you're going to venture through and get yourself some tickets for this and have that experience yourself. It was a load of fun. Guys, if you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell so that you don't miss the notifications of future episodes of the show. It's been a lot of fun. The zoo was a lot of fun. And even though, well, my truck broke down, you know what? It just added to the adventure. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're going to go for yourself. And I also hope that you're going to join me again next week when I bring you yet another Alternative Tuesdays.